Well, I'm back out here with my Glock 21. It's got the Storm Lake 10mm barrel in it. Try out some more cast bullets. I got some new magazines, so I'm hoping these will work better. And I don't know. While I'm at it, I'm gonna throw the 45 ACP barrel back in there. And this is some bullets that come highly recommended by Charles Irby. And I got some of those cast up. I just want to try them out and see how they shoot. And then once I do that, then I'll switch over to 10mm and we'll see what happens. Okay, this is 8.6 grains, 800X, 10mm. Alright, some berries. They're 165 grain. Okay, 180 grain XTPs. Alright, well, I haven't had a chance to go back and look at the shooting footage yet that I have run before the start talking about it, but you know, there it is, the Glock 21. It's a police trade-in with the Storm Lake conversion barrel on it, 10mm conversion. And you know, I got these new magazines, the standard 15 round for 10mm, and they do have a little bit different follower in them, and they seem to work fine. I had one little hang up, one little failure to feed on one of those 10mm, but it's still a pretty new barrel. I mean, even after shooting these, I think it may have 100 rounds through it, so you know, some of that's break-in or whatever. But you know, one thing, I did have a few ejection, I won't say problems, but you know, it's real funny. The ejectors on these Glocks, you know, they're all a little bit different. But you know, the 10mm and the 45 are the same. The 40 and 357 SIG are straight, and the 9mm is just a little bit bent. So, you know, kind of weird, kind of a weird thing for the Glocks, you know. But you know, the 10mm and the 45 are the same. So I think some of the I was having a kind of erratic ejection. I think some of it is just the extractor, you know. And this one seems maybe just a tad loose, you know, but it's you know, it wasn't a big deal, but it was kind of throwing brass like everywhere, you know, but just kind of a weird deal. And you can replace these, you know, you can replace the you know, this with a 10mm extractor. And I had a couple questions about the guide rod. It's a high polished stainless guide rod from Lone Wolf Distributing, but it's a standard 17 pounds. That's the standard weight for Glock 20 and 21, and I think it's for 17 and 22 as well. They all use a 17-pound guide rod spring. But here's the first shots, and this is with the 45 ACP, and those are some those cast rounds that I loaded up a mold I bought off eBay, and I don't know, it's kind of somebody had sprayed a lot of, I guess, mold release on it, and Charles Irby was kind of helping me with it. I mean, I got a pretty good deal on it, but anyways, I ended up soaking it in what's it called, a Vapo Rust, and basically taking it down to metal, and it does cast pretty good now. You know, the bullets are, I was worried that they were going to be a little bit undersized because they weren't quite, you know, they were right at like 4.52, 4.53, and when I was sizing them, I mean, I felt like I wasn't doing anything, you know. So I was kind of worried that they weren't going to shoot real well. But the first 5 I loaded up and shot actually did pretty well. You know, the first shot was, I had to move the sights up. I was, you know, holding about right here, and then the first shot ended up way down here, so I moved my point of aim up a little bit to about right here. And then I ended up getting these 4 shots, which is pretty good, you know, pretty good shooting. And that was a real mild load. That was 4.5 grains of bullseye, and it was only 732 feet per second. I mean, those things were like, that was like shooting nothing. I mean, and you know, the accuracy was pretty good on those. So I'll definitely load up some more of those and play around. Oh yeah, and another thing, the polygonal barrel with the cast bullet on those 4. You know, after I moved the sights up, I mean, it did good. So you can't, there again, a cast powder coated bullet in the polygonal rifling, I think is, whoever, you know, the myth or whatever, I don't think it holds true with that. But here's some 10mm accurate number 7, 11.3 grains, average velocity 1201 feet per second. And this was a pretty decent group. You know, I had to one way down here off of paper, but these were all shooting real low. You know, even on these I was, you know, aiming up here, and I was getting quite a bit of spread down here low. So, you know, for whatever reason, shooting, you know, kind of low on these. And this is all from 15 yards. These Berries bullets, I've been real impressed with these. It's the these are the 401 diameter Berries plated. I've shot a lot of these in 40 Smith & Wesson, and you know, the accuracy on these is actually pretty darn good, really. You know, I'm over a little bit to the left here and low, but I mean, it's still pretty decent accuracy. And that's 11.3 grains accurate number 7 as well, right at 1200 feet per second. So, and that's kind of what I was going for. I was kind of aiming or trying to get around 1200 feet per second on these. So it looks like I did pretty good as far as estimating that. And this is the Lee. Oh, sorry, I didn't say this one. These were 180 grain XTPs, the first target that I showed you. Anybody asleep yet? This is probably boring, but this 10mm Lee 175 800X is becoming one of my favorite powders. Really, I've been shooting it, and strangely enough, I started shooting it with 40 Smith & Wesson and 10mm. It's a real good powder for 10mm. I've been shooting it in 44 Magnum. Really liking 44 Magnum. So it works really good in the Charge Master. But that's a Lee 175 grain cast bullet. There you see average velocity 1169, And you know, those shot pretty well. I had one little flyer over here, but you know, mostly you know, had a decent little group there. Again, low and slightly to the left on those. And this was, I think, the first group I shot. It's the Lee 175 cast, accurate number 711 grains, and 1196 feet per second. And these, like I said, it was shooting real low, and I kept moving up, so it's probably not a great you know, representation of accuracy. But you know, these shot pretty well, and as you can tell with you know, you get up to decent accuracy on the, or decent velocity on these, around 1200 feet per second. When they hit that metal, you know, bullet trap, that steel bullet trap, I mean, the bullets just like explode. Because I didn't have any backing behind these targets, and you can really see the, you know, the splatter on them. And this is the XTP target, so it didn't quite, you know, it's a jacketed, you know, a little bit thicker jacketing on those, but it didn't have quite the splatter on it, you know. But you know, those cast bullets, they pretty much at that velocity, when they hit that target, they pretty much evaporated. But anyways, there's my shooting. There's my 10mm. And overall, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I could probably tweak a few things and get a little bit more, you know, a little bit better reliability and different things. But I mean, it's a 45 auto, and I'll probably, you know, load up a bunch more of these and shoot these and shoot 45 auto in it. And I have the ability to shoot 10mm if I want to, and that's really what these conversion barrels are about. You know, just basically giving a guy options, you know, giving somebody options, and where you can shoot more than one caliber if you want to. I mean, is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be as good as a straight up 20 Glock 20 or a Glock 40, you know, anything 10mm? I mean, no, probably not, but it's good enough. You know, it's good enough, and it gives you an option that, you know, you don't have with a lot of other firearms. So that's kind of cool. So anyways, that's enough yakking and stuff, and hopefully I'll get this video together and get it out soon. And thanks for watching, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well, and we'll see you on the next one.